The transition from the quiet streets of Cornwall to a sprawling metropolis is a massive shock. For the Wasim family, it meant trading a small town where everyone knew their history for the overwhelming neon-lit skyline of Toronto. Relocation strips away social armor. You go from a deeply rooted community to a concrete grid of identical balconies. You are surrounded by thousands of people, yet you are entirely anonymous. Inside their new apartment, Kamran and Nadia were managing the chaos of a full house. They had 2 teenagers arguing over bedroom space and 2 young daughters chasing each other through a maze of unpacked cardboard boxes. In a high-density environment like this, a family's sense of grounding depends on finding a recognizable social anchor nearby. You need someone in the immediate vicinity to tether you to your new reality. For the Wasims, that lifeline lived right next door, in apartment 4B. The Alis were a warm, welcoming family who immediately made the intimidating city feel a little more like home. This diagram illustrates the specific demographic structure of the Ali household. You have 2 parents at the top, branching down to 3 children, 9-year-old Rayan, 7-year-old Zain, and 5-year-old Sarah. For 3 months, these 2 families became deeply intertwined. The adults regularly shared tea and exchanged stories of their backgrounds, while the children became inseparable. They built a solid baseline of shared history together. That 3-month timeline was the exact thing validating the Wasim's new life. It proved they belonged in the building. If you compromise that shared history, their entire foundation in the city collapses. The collapse began on a completely mundane Tuesday afternoon. Nadia had made a fresh batch of traditional sweets, but when the door clicked open, Kamran was staring at an unfamiliar man. The man was the right age, but his posture, his cold voice, and his eyes were completely wrong. Kamran assumed it was a practical joke. He laughed, referencing the dinners they had just shared over the weekend, and asking where the kids were. The stranger stared back, stating coldly that he didn't know anyone named Ali. The man's tone sharpened. He told Kamran that his family had lived in that exact apartment for years. They were the same family they had always been, and absolutely nothing had changed. This is a reality threshold conflict. 2 mutually exclusive timelines colliding in a single hallway, one backed by Kamran's memory, the other by strangers. Then a woman walked up behind the man, followed by 3 young children peeking from behind her skirt. They looked back at Kamran with blank, unblinking expressions. Look at apartment 4B as an equation. The 5-person structure remains identical on both sides, but the human inputs are swapped. A new 9-year-old boy replaces Rayan. A 7-year-old boy perfectly matches Zain, and a 5-year-old girl steps into the footprint left by Sarah. The faces, the memories, and the identities standing in the doorway were completely alien, yet the demographic placeholders for the apartment were flawless repetitions of the family Kamran knew. This is a systematic plug-and-play replacement. Every memory and identity has been erased, while the apartment's demographic equation remains a perfect constant. Kamran slowly backed away. The heavy door closed with an echoing thud, physically severing him from his connection to his own recent past. He stood in the freezing hallway, staring at the plate of sweets trembling in his hands. It was the only physical proof he had left that the last 3 months actually happened. In this grid of concrete and steel, the demographic slot of 4B had to be filled. To the building, the Alis were merely a specific set of data points, 2 parents, 3 kids. And when they vanished, the structure immediately provided a new set of data points that looked exactly the same. If it happens in one unit, it scales to the rest. You have to wonder how many other anonymous apartments across the sprawling skyline have had their occupants seamlessly overwritten without leaving a single trace. It leaves you with a terrifying question. When you walk down your own hallway tonight, how can you definitively prove the people behind those closed doors haven't been swapped out since yesterday?